Hey, according to this mortgage lender, here are three reasons why your house isn't selling.
Story that was talking about how can't sell house is one of the most searched Google terms right now. Let's talk about common reasons people can't sell their house. Number one, and seriously, this is it 80% of the time, it's priced too high. It's either priced too high because you're an unrealistic seller, which honestly, if I was selling, I'd be unrealistic as well. We all want to set the new market price. Or number two,
All right, hold on. There's a lot there. So, are you an emotional seller or an analytical seller? Everybody wants to get as much as you can get. Well, as I record this video, here's something that's really important for us to understand. In this market, if you price your house too high, it will sit and it won't sell. Most buyers are still not accustomed to making offers. If your house is listed for 300 and they think it's worth 275, they're not going to make the offer for 275 in most cases. It will sit on the market. But here's the thing that most people don't really understand. You can't underprice a house in this market. If you do underprice it, you will receive multiple offers and the buyers will bid the house up. I know. I know. Let's keep watching.
recently bought the house and you're trying to get out without losing money, it's really tough to buy a house and only have it for 1 to 2 years and then be able to sell it, make money, and pay the real estate agents. So number one is overpriced house. Number two,
Yep, very important piece there too. Just keep that in mind. If you only own the home for a year or two, these COVID years aside, where it was going like this, you're looking at maybe 2, 3, 4, 5% appreciation, which typically isn't enough when you factor in the closing costs when selling a home.
you're in an area that has an inventory glut. That's likely where these searches are coming from. There's a couple
Sure.
parts in the country where there's a ton of housing inventory because of new
Yeah.
construction. So you've got all the new construction giving all those incentives, and then you've got the existing houses. That just takes time to work through.
That's absolutely true. In my service area, we don't have a ton of new construction, but there are certain pockets that do. So there was a home I was trying to sell recently. It was newer construction. It was about a 3-year-old home in a neighborhood that they've been developing and expanding for probably 10 or 15 years. This particular house I was trying to sell was about 2 or 3 years old. And then right around the corner from this house was an entirely new subdivision that was being built of very similar homes. So we had to be very, very aware of what those brand new homes were going to be selling for versus what our pre-owned 3-year-old home would be selling for, because they are not the same. It's nice to buy a home that's only 3 years old, but it's not brand new.
There's nothing you can do in that case unless you want to drop your price dramatically. Number three, it's the way the house looks. No one wants to talk about this, but it's true. If your house smells weird, if the pictures look terrible, if you refuse to clean before people see the house, that can affect buyers' perceptions. As a mortgage lender, I hear about this all the time. That's what we talk about with buyers. They're telling us, oh, I saw this house, but it was gnarly, it smelled, I thought the house looked like this. That's the other thing. Did your agent take such good pictures that it doesn't look like the house?
Yeah, that's a funny thing. Like, you can see the pictures, you can do these virtual walkthroughs with all the technology that you see on all the consumer websites, but you can't smell it. And sometimes homes smell really nasty, and that gets really personal. If I'm listing your house, you don't want to hear that. But the truth is, you need to let someone who's objective give you an opinion and help you work through that process, because smells and odors can really turn off a buyer.
That can be one you don't think about because you're like, it looks so good online, but if they walk in and it's lesser than, that can be problematic as well. That loud accent color wall, yeah, I've seen that turn people off. So look, 19 years in the business, those are the three things I would look at first if your house is not selling.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth there. That was some good information. Price is always paramount. Of course, the condition of the house matters. Um, that green wall that she's talking about, that could definitely turn off some people, and that's why we look to obtain feedback. That's one of the reasons. We get a lot of feedback when we show homes. Every agent who showed the house, we follow up with, and sometimes it's the house is too big, the house is too small. They just started looking. Well, we can't do anything about that. But if we get consistent feedback from several agents that say, oh, that green wall in the living room is super ugly, or the house really stinks from something, well, then we can have a conversation with our client and say, hey, look, this is something that we're hearing and seeing, and it's something that we can actually do something about. See you guys on the next one.